Live, my brother.
Back in business. How's it going?
I'm all right.
Good
Mm.
stuff.
I had a very, very busy weekend with uh, with making my dreams come true. I've been talking about it for years, and for those of you who know me, I've had this long time dream of becoming a shepherd. No, owning some sheep, and I do. This weekend, Gusta Gordon went live, uh, or at least staging.
In, in,
I don't know.
in production. No,
In
staging,
production.
production.
Yeah, we were in production. We were in
That's
production. We have
amazing.
yeah
Yeah, yeah.
three live animals. They're amazing. Uh, you can find all about it on my Instagram. Check it out, Thomas Hochman.
Yeah.
Uh, and how was your weekend?
No, well, first off, congratulations. My weekend was fantastic. Uh, I played badminton for the first time in a very long time. So I'm still really sore,
Ah,
which is great. You know, it's the people's tennis, really, is the impression I have of badminton.
I
And
love it. I love it. I
yeah,
used to play badminton a lot before
yeah.
before I went old and sick. But badminton
Well,
is the
what's
people's tennis. I love it. It's great.
what's so nice about it is like you go to these old badminton stadiums here in Sweden at least, but and they haven't changed a bit since they were built. They just like it's the same vibe. And you go in there, and even the really serious players, they are laughing. They're having a good time. They're just smiling.
Hmm.
It's not this kind of like, win yeah, over alles kind of thing you sometimes see in tennis tournaments. It's a lot of happy faces, which is nice. So that was
No, no, I totally feel you.
yeah,
It's yeah, it is great.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So yeah, but nothing much to report. It's Stockholm. It's finally a little bit cooler, but walked around a lot as you do. Gosh, it really flew by. So I wish I had more details, but it's all a blur.
But this fall has been fantastic so far. I mean, or late summer, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
We also had some really great weather, which was good for me because I spent most of my weekend outdoors.
Yeah.
No rain, nothing, just and
Mhm.
not too hot, not too cool. Really good.
Yeah. Good for
So
getting stuff done.
right,
Yeah.
and talking
Yeah.
about that's a good segue. Let's talk about getting
Yeah.
stuff done. Let's what
Yeah.
what
So I pitched this. I pitched it because we still need, even after the weekend, we still need a little bit of a break
hmm?
from our Django API. We need a break. And so I
I
thought,
made some progress on that, by the way,
oh, cool.
just a little
Cool.
bit. But then I broke some other stuff.
Oh, that's fine.
So
That's part
so,
of it.
so I actually managed to write a request spec where we are authenticating the user. I set up the user
Hmm.
factory and so on and so forth. And
Oh, good on you.
so the main purpose of the PR that is pending, which is
Hmm.
an unauthenticated user cannot create a project and an authenticated user can create a project, we're there. But now I'm failing on something else. I think like the index action is failing. Um,
Oh,
but that's. I just wanted to tell you that
that's awesome. Good
we
on
made
you.
some progress. Yeah.
I did not have that patience. Instead, and maybe you remember if the viewers watched the last stream, you may remember that we talked about these new document docs for React that are in beta. So I shouldn't say they're new; they're still in beta, but they look really promising and really great. Um, and I noticed something. There's a difference between the old docs and the new docs, where the old docs, they mention create React app. And then when they mention other build tools, they only mention Parcel and some other things.
Hmm.
And so I was interested. I was like, oh, I wonder if these new docs in beta are any different. And they actually list a build tool called Vite, Vite. So I checked it out, and I'd come into contact with it because I've been messing around with Vue, but it can be used to build React applications,
Hmm.
which of course sent me down a rabbit hole. And there's a lot of a lot of you're going to be surprised to hear this, Thomas. A lot of people on the internet have a lot of opinions about things.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, I know.
That's so weird. I thought we
Yeah,
were
stop
all,
the stream. We're
yeah,
going home.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, we were all in agreement on everything, right? That's what
yeah.
I thought too. But so that
Isn't that it?
that
Wasn't that the general idea behind the internet? That just to harmonize
bring people
everybody, right?
together, yeah. Um, it led me down the rabbit hole, and I consumed all this content, and I came away with it thinking that Create React App is a fantastic tool that no one should throw under the bus, and is incredibly well made, and it's
Right.
incredibly well made for its purpose. Well, there's no but. It's like it's an incredible learning tool, and if you here, if you switch to my screen, I can pull open the React.js docs as they currently stand, and if you go into the quick start app, they where is this? Create a new React app. They say, where is this little line that I thought was interesting? Right, Create React App is a comfortable environment for learning React. And I think that's such a great. That's exactly how we use it at Craft Academy. And the argument that people levy against CRA is that it comes with all this stuff that you just don't really need, and so you get a much bigger, build bundle than you would otherwise. But so the recommendation, right, is still Create React App, and then they talk about Next.js, which is sort of a layer on top of React. They talk about Gatsby, and then they mentioned some things that I don't really know what they are, except for Parcel. But so I headed over to beta React.js, which looks like this currently. And I think, is it in the learn? And there's a quick start part. And here they mention, is this, no, installation. I'm sorry, installation and start a new React project. They mention Create React App as well. But they do the same caveat. It's like, if you're learning React, then grab it from CRA. But then when they say popular alternatives, they mention Vite right away. And it's getting some love. It's just really fast, bare bones. And it's really funny because a lot of these people are American who make opinionated videos about this. I'm not subtweeting anyone right now. Maybe I am. But none of them can say Vite in French. They like say Vite.
Oh yeah, that was my yeah.
And then, but look, I'm in the Vite JS site, and Vite, French word for quick, pronounced.
Okay.
Vite.
So
I don't know if you will hear this, but
and you speak French, so
yeah, I
should
learned
know.
my French before I learned my English. But
Yeah.
I just it's such a nice little detail in our industry that tends to be perhaps a bit Anglophonic in its orientation.
Yeah. So we're Americanized, all of us.
Yeah, but to have like this one really useful tool that people love so much, but they cannot say it, so they have to like say Vite, and then they have to argue with the guy who wrote it. And that's the second interesting part about this this build tool, is that it's written by the same guy who created Vue.
Okay.
And they have an open source model. They rely on sponsors, and looky here, one of the sponsors is our favorite, Cypress.
All right.
Right on, right?
Wow. There you
and go. So this is the real deal. They do some stuff with you can do server side rendering if you're optimizing for SEO. It has all these things. So I thought what we could do is, since I've done this, maybe you should drive, and you should scaffold a React application using Vite and see what you think. And then we could do it. We could do one in parallel with CRA and compare the package JSON, what you get, what you don't get. and try to form an opinion about it.
That
I mean,
sounds
clearly,
like
I'm a little biased already, so it should be your opinion is good. Your takeaways at the end of this stream, I think, is the meat of today. It's what the value we can add.
that sounds like a good plan. Let's do that. Let me just finish up the. Can you give me like 2 minutes and I will just finish up
Yeah.
the
Let me wrap a little bit more about this,
yeah.
which is which is going to be about Vue, which isn't really in scope, but with Vue Js, which, as you probably know, is a front-end framework. You have. I'm going to head over to the quick start. They have an official Vue build setup, which is based on Vite, but it has other things. So if I run this command, and let's see here, I'm in my temp folder in my demos. If I do this npm init view at latest, I should get an interface that says, "Oh, you need this package." I thought, okay, I had that. You can put can't really see this, but it defaults to Vue project for a project name, and now it's nice. So you can add TypeScript, JSX support. You can add the router. I'm going to say yes for that. I'm going to say no for state management. I'm going to say no for unit testing. But look, Cypress here is baked in, which for us that do this kind of TDD, BDD is really nice. And let's hop into Vue project. Like if I look at this and zoom in a little bit, enhance. Obviously, what's really cool is that they slap in Cypress, they slap in start server and test. So, that's kind of a really good practice. And look at all these nice commands they give us. They call it test instead of Cypress, but that's fine. They're passing in the flags. They have, basically really similar. I mean, almost exactly the same.
So in a way, I'm very happy about this because that means that we came up with most of these settings ourselves during our experimenting and learning about React a few years ago and so on. So now that they are using similar stuff, so this means that we did something wrong. Right.
Absolutely right. Yeah, for sure. And the one thing I will point out here is that we get this. This is specific to Vue. Okay, I think. No, actually, I'm wrong. You need to include this little dev server setting in your Cypress config.js, but we'll get there because this was the official tool to build a Vue app, but it's built on top of Vite. Okay, Vite. Sorry, see, I'm doing it too now. Vite, and we don't get that for free, I think, when we're doing Vite with React. But I think what you should do, Thomas, and what's nice in the get started here is that the command, first of all, you can use yarn, which is great, but it's really just yarn create Vite, and then you get a little wizard to set up, and I think you'll like it, but we'll see.
Development. Let me just get that, switch over front. How could I misspell front end? I don't know. That shit happens.
If I can mispronounce Vite, then
I guess. Let's see. Let's just share this across the board. Hopefully, if we have some viewers with us already or joining us along the way, do remember to hit the subscribe button, share the link to our YouTube or Twitch channel to all your friends, and make them see the light. No.
Yes.
No.
Well, if it's useful, give them a ping.
So I'm on my screen.
Yeah.
I'm on my screen, and I'm gonna start my terminal.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make it appear on my streaming screen. There we are. I'm gonna seed into projects, and I'm new to Vite. I don't know
Yeah.
more than you just told me, and I like to follow docs. So I'm gonna go to get started, uh, and it says there's actually a sound icon here. Yeah, so we can
It didn't.
hear.
Yeah, it didn't run for me because I probably have some like privacy setting.
Yeah, let's see, but I don't know if that's gonna be. Yeah.
Oh, I heard it.
Yeah, there you go.
Vite.
All right. So I don't want to try it online.
No, you want to scaffold your first
Yeah.
Vite project, don't
With
you?
npm with that, right? So yarn create Vite. Okay, that's what I need to do, right?
Yep, that's so.
That's
And you don't need to pass in any flags or anything because there's going to be a little setup.
no application names, no nothing.
Just hit it,
Just hit it.
and
All right, I'm
we'll
gonna
see what happens. So it's going to fetch some packages.
damn right.
All right, now you can give it the name.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it. Okay, I'm gonna say hello world. Hello.
That's right.
Vite. Hello Vite. Hello. Can I use camel case here? I know that CRA.
I know
removed
React
that.
yells at you.
Yeah, let's try that.
Try it. All right.
No, they didn't complain at this stage. Package name, sure. Let's just call it. Okay, so
Right.
vanilla, Vue, React, Preact, Lit, Svelte. Nice.
Nice, right?
Yeah.
Especially nice because like vanilla, you know, it's good. It's good to have students mess around in vanilla more. I think there's a trend to just be like, okay, we're gonna do a React tutorial, and this is gonna be how it is,
Uh-huh.
And forcing a little bit of vanilla is
Well,
good for the learning process, I think.
but we're gonna go with React today.
That's right.
And we're gonna go with React without TypeScript.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And yeah, you just CD into
right.
it.
So let's CD into it. There we go. I'm gonna open this up in my code editor.
Yeah.
Interesting. Hello. Okay, so this is okay. All right. Let's have a. I don't want to sign up for Copilot. This is anyway. Right. So we have a public folder. We have nothing but nothing but a logo here. So that's not interesting. Let's go to source. No, let's go to package JSON first.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So this was probably a mistake to use camel case.
Oh yeah, look at that.
I would probably like to have it like this or something, but this is the first thing. Dev Vite build preview Vite preview. Okay, I didn't get any other options to install Cypress or anything like that.
No, I think Vite in its current iteration is meant to be. It's intentionally bare bones.
Okay.
Like the Vue Js official, create an app is more advanced. It has more layers on top of Vite, basically.
Okay.
That's what we just saw on my screen. I think maybe our challenge should be to get Cypress up and running here because there's a gotcha, I think.
Okay.
But we'll face that when we get there.
Yeah. So.
But I think for me, the interesting thing is here, look at the dependencies and the dev dependencies, and then, pop open one of your CRA apps or we'll scaffold one in a second and we should compare the two.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because what CRA apps have, they have Js testing and some other stuff, right? We'll see. So, and we have the index HTML, which is very bare bone. The only thing you have is this ID root, which is interesting, but they import this build here. Okay, I think on CRA they import the bundle up in the header. We'll see.
In the head, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a different way of doing things.
No,
doesn't really matter. CSS wise, they have some stuff from the beginning. Doesn't
yeah,
really
it's
matter.
for the landing page.
we don't have an index.js, but rather a main JSX. They do import React, which is probably not necessary.
Do they import React in app.jsx?
Let's see. They do
No.
not. They do
So
not.
so you need it in main JSX just as you would in index.jsx, but that's the only one, right?
Right, because you are using the strict mode. If you would not use the strict mode, you wouldn't have to do that. Render, and they're using create rooted, the new React stuff. Okay, that's good. All right. And then we have, okay, they have used the separation with app CSS, you know, and stuff like that. So I don't really use that, but app JSX. Let's have a look. Use state, React logo, app CSS, count, set count, use state, 0. Okay, whatever that is. I haven't edited this to learn what is it. On click count is. Okay, so this is just an example of using using local states. Yeah. Awesome. Barebone, not much. And no assets you have. So,
spin it up.
Yeah, I wonder why they use Vite SVG here and React SVG here.
Me too. And you know, I mean, the difference between a public folder and an assets folder is that when you run the Vite build command, it doesn't process the stuff in the public directory, you know. I mean, okay. So when you we can test this right now. Spin it up. And
so yeah, before we do that, the interesting thing is that here you can point to Vite SVG like an image because it's in public, whereas this one, the React logo needs to be imported.
Yes, and I bet you that the name of the file of the React logo, if we spin this up, is going to have a hash added
Let's
to it.
have a look at that. All right, so let's go over to this, and I do yarn preview, right?
So no, you do yarn dev. You can only do yarn preview if you have run yarn build.
Gotcha. So
yeah.
All right. Do I have to say yarn?
Oh, you have to yarn. Yeah, you have to yarn first. No. You just have to run yarn to install your dependencies.
Of course. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it should be faster than CRA.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So and this should also be very fast.
Right, and we just 51.
Yeah, that's the 5173 is what they
okay.
Is what they default to.
So local 5173. And we have them both here, right?
Right, very zoomed in, no?
0. I don't. Yeah. Well, why am I? Oh yeah. For some reason I was 250%. I don't know why. Here we are.
Yeah.
And I can click on this and count upwards.
Out of curiosity, if you inspect the two images in the browser with the dev tools, do you get?
So this one is normal. Vite. Sorry.
Yeah.
You see, I'm doing it myself. Right. Vite. Yeah. And this one, as you said, is no.
No, it's the same. Okay, so maybe it knows.
But that's because it's not compiled, you know. So let's do that.
Right. Yeah. So you
yarn build. Right, and now I can do yarn preview, right?
Yeah, that's right. And that's going to default to 4173. Yeah.
4173. All right, let's have a look at that, and let's see if our theory. Yeah, you were right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. It doesn't. Yeah.
And this one? No, this one is totally okay, but the other one has because it's in assets too now. All right, that's cool. That's cool. Awesome. I mean, so far so good.
So far so good. Yeah.
Let's open up a new terminal and cd up and do yarn create React app and then just call it hello CRA, right? And we're installing.
So I guess it's it's a few more packages.
Yeah.
Feels like, but I mean, I guess you're not scaffolding apps left and right.
No, but it is a longer process, definitely. And
Yeah,
we have some outdated on the pretty format, whatever. Right. And okay, so let's open this one. Well, cd into hello CRA.
yeah.
And then, oh, so this one created
Right. The other one does not initialize a Git
no.
repo.
Okay. So that's one thing. I don't know if
Yeah.
this is a good or bad, but it's a different behavior, right? So let's just open this up. We go over here, and similarly, so we have a bigger package JSON. But then again, CRA template. What is this? I haven't seen this one before, to be honest.
I don't know what that is either.
No. This is something. It's a little bit of news to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right. Let's compare the package. So React 18.2, right?
Mm-hmm.
18.2. That's the. And then we have the React scripts, which is another package, which that will start and that's a CRA. I assume that this is a CRA specific, or is it? I'm gonna check it out.
Would assume the same. The React scripts was called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Includes scripts can be used by Create React App. Right. So this is a CRA specific thing. But I'm also I wonder.
I just looked that up on bundlephobia.com.
Uh-huh.
And I got a blacklisted package error.
On React scripts?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. This happens if the package wasn't meant to be bundled in a client-side application. So,
okay.
But it is okay. Whatever.
Yeah. And the CRA template is just the default template that is used at this particular. If you don't pass in.
Dash template. I see. Yeah. I see. Okay.
And this was updated when last published 5 months ago. That's weird.
I mean, that could be.
Right. So there's some other settings about the browser list and ESConfig stuff, right? We have this. Right.
But it's not. I mean,
the biggest difference.
Loaded. It's just different.
Yeah.
What about the development dependencies?
There was none. There's nothing here.
Really?
No.
Huh.
Which is kind of new, because I remember wasn't I like sometimes bitching about this, that look, there are some testing frameworks that are included in the dependencies rather than dev dependencies.
I have bitched about that too. So I don't know.
But apparently there is a testing framework here. So if I just do yarn test and this is installed and set up, and this is Jest, right? Exactly.
It looks like. Oh, but
looky.
Whoa. We just discovered something. Oopsie daisy.
That's a weird thing, right?
Have they updated it? Did you run yarn?
I did.
You did run yarn.
Or I didn't. No, well, but
that shouldn't.
It installed themselves, right? So let's do yarn, but it shouldn't do anything for me.
No, it shouldn't do anything.
It does.
It does. Wait, yeah. This is the issue people take with Create React App, is that some of the dependencies aren't listed, like they're obfuscated inside of the CRA.
But if I do, because look, and this is could be, of course. They are listing yarn test as a thing, right? Which means that I should be able to test immediately.
Absolutely.
And I can't do it.
And are you still getting that modular? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Huh.
and so let's see if this is
Oh, that's
fixable.
not cool.
No, that is not cool. Let's just do this. Just yarn add. Well, I can add it to dev dependencies, so I don't have to do the same mistake as they do. And just run it again.
Yeah.
Found incompatible module. I don't want to have to. Yeah.
Was
No. Right. So, all
oh.
right. So this is a big no. I haven't seen this problem.
No, this is new, and I'm sure somebody has already filed an issue. Otherwise, we should.
Testing library React. This is the one I need. Not this one. Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit. This is the one I need. Testing library. Right. This is the one I need. So I'm just gonna install this. And not the one that I installed. Let's see if this installs the whole enchilada or not. I should be able to just do this without any config, whatever, And I'm still getting this fucking nuts.
Maybe you do have to pass in -- test or something.
Setup source setup test JS. How do you mean?
No, I actually don't know what I'm talking about. I headed over to create React app's own website, and it claims that running tests is available in React script 0.3.0 or higher.
Dev dependency. This is installed already. You understand?
Create React app uses Jest as its test runner. To prepare for this integration, we did a major revamp of Jest. So if you heard bad things about it years ago, give it another try. Well, Jest is fine, but
it's a little bit of a weird situation here. Let me just check. Let me check.
Oh.
Yeah, go on.
If you switch to my screen, you can have a look. I'm in the React app, testing section, and they do talk about if you'd like the components in isolate. No, but see, this is still isolation. It should like if they give us the command, as you said, it should work. But look here, they are not adding them as development dependencies, which is weird.
You know what? Let me see if that's the case. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it should. I mean, come on. No, first of all, you know what? I'm just gonna go over to. Didn't we create a React app recently?
We sure did. We have one for our front end in the Art Nouveau project.
Yeah.
But bear in mind, we haven't. No, yes, we are running Jest in it because we actually wrote some unit tests using Jest. So have a look at the package JSON there. I mean, I can do the same.
Testing. Yeah. So look, we have the testing library in dev dependency.
You're still on my screen.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
So we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one, 13.0, right? And this one was 13.4, right? And so do I have to just include this guy because this one didn't really look. So let's just I thought that this was I did run the yarn command for the Jest DOM. So let's just do yarn again. Perhaps there was some mistake. And we got a new follower for smooths. I don't know. Yeah, looks amazing. Well, thank you, and thank you for the follow. And I'm getting this. Look,
the engine node guys. It's not great.
Expected version. Node. The engine node is incompatible with this expected.
Wait. Well, okay. Do MVM list. What does your terminal default to?
Shit. 17. No, it's okay. It's 17.
That should be fine. Yeah, that should not.
I'm just gonna do nvm use 16 just for the sake of it. Okay.
Yeah, but even so, I mean, come on.
Are you using 17?
I'm using 16.
All right, I'm gonna use 16 too. And well, I didn't get that, and now I do yarn test and Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So it's a node issue. What the fuck?
Is your installation of 17 corrupted in some way? Like,
Can you install 17 on nvm
yeah, sure.
and run it and see what's up?
I sure can. But I would have to install a.
Don't you have
Wow.
nvm?
No, I do.
So just say nvm install 17. It should be okay.
Vim install 17. Let's try that. Just gonna need to scaffold a create React app very quickly.
No. Well, no. I don't think you have to. Well, you could just to. Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
I got you. Just in order to
Yarn create, and it's React-app, right? And
yeah,
I'll call
and then
it hello CRA as
with
well.
With a dash.
Yeah. And that takes a second. And it's working.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay, well that's not gonna be too bad, right?
No. It's almost done. It is almost done. Or so I thought. Get some warnings. Okay. Nope. Okay. So now let's cd into hello CRA. Do I need to yarn, or was it going to say no? I do need to yarn.
And now you want to. Now we just want to see.
I'm going to just run yarn test. Right. Well, first of all, hang on a second. Let's just say nvm list to make sure we're in 17 that we just installed. And let's say yarn test. No, it's not compatible.
And so just switch over to 16 now.
nvm use 16.
And do the same thing without yarning. Just do this.
Without yarning, no good.
Okay, and yarn this up now.
Yeah, we'll yarn.
And run it again.
And we'll yarn test it.
Okay, good. So switch to that's okay because you didn't install those dependencies. You understand? So switch over to 17.
Yeah, and VM use 17.
And do yarn add -d.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you can copy it from there probably, so you don't have to.
I am in create React app. Here's the command. Where is it?
We are not on CentOS. We just got a question if we're doing CentOS. No, we are. Both of us are using macOS actually.
Yeah. Let's see. This is the line.
Yeah, just copy the command. No, don't copy the entire line, but just the
names.
Yeah.
So I'm doing this as development dependencies, pasting this in, grabbing those guys. Okay.
And now just run yarn test.
We're in 17. We're running yarn test. We're getting an error.
Okay. Switch over to 16.
Yeah. Now the question is, do I need to yarn?
Well, we don't know. Just test it first.
I'm not yarning. I'm testing. Getting the error.
And yarn now.
And I'm just going to yarn. No, I didn't install anything.
Okay, go to your. Well,
can they not be development dependencies? Do they have to be?
But I do have them as dev dependencies, and they just passed for me.
Oh, that's weird.
This was not a good experiment. Let's check out.
Well, I mean, it's a good. It's a good.
Yeah.
Come on, little guy. It's just being slow. Hello. Okay. Did my code crash? Let's see. VS Code. There we go. Okay.
All right, package
And what do we
JSON.
have here? We have our dependencies.
We don't have dev dependence. What the hell?
What did I pass in as a command?
Is it?
Yarn add dash d.
Do you have to dash dev now? Is the dash capital D not working anymore?
I just tried to run it again, and here
It's.
they are.
I mean, but this shouldn't be happening. Okay, okay. So now,
Via testing. Oops.
and
But just for oh my god, just for sanity's sake, let's look at. I'm in 16,
yeah,
so
go to. Well, it doesn't matter. Just the yawn test now.
yeah, now it should work. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
So
this happened to me just a while back because I did this Jest DOM installation with a capital D. It didn't, it didn't catch on, and then
mhm.
I don't know what is happening. Anyway, switch over to 17 now and let's see. It should fail. I mean, if we can mimic the behavior,
It's
but it
passing.
passed. So there must be something with my installation, as you said.
It could be. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would, if I were you, I would just reinstall 17.
Yeah. So because
But
we are
anyway,
like nvm
uh,
list,
yeah.
we are on 16. That passes. Yeah. Okay. Well. All right. I will do that. I will
But
do
the
that.
point still stands that, if you're including a package JSON, script, maybe don't require the developer to, or maybe do. Maybe they're responding to criticisms of, including too much stuff. But when you read the docs, it kind of reads as though this is supposed to be,
This should be included.
yeah. It was
It was
before. This is new. This
yeah.
is new. Yeah.
This is new, right?
Okay. Well, that's an interesting discovery.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think
But okay,
it's
all
too
in all,
bad.
yeah.
I think it's too bad that they would go in that direction, because in my mind, it's like, yeah, it's the create React app is what you use to learn React. And if create React app is now doing this kind of thing where they're like, no, we'll let the developers set up the tooling, which is great, but it's like, that's not the point, right? Like you're supposed to be like what would be the car analogy of something that just works? Like an 80s Econobox.
Yeah. But
Japan, like,
I don't know, but yeah, but I get your point.
yeah.
Uh,
All right, but let's try to set up some Cypress in Vite.
right. So should we try to set up Jest in Vite? Are you saying, is that what because we have Jest already installed on this one? I'm not
That's
using
true.
Jest that often, but
I think we should go for Cypress because that's our kind of like, it's our development tool, like.
Right. So first of all, we don't have a Git stuff, so we're just gonna do Git init on this one, and we are here. So I need to create a Git ignore, I guess. I'm going to install node modules at least, right?
Yeah.
Huh? What? That shouldn't be here. Did Git init? Oh, well, that's weird. Isn't this weird? It didn't create a Git repository, but it did create a Git ignore when you scaffold the application.
That is weird.
That
I
is
guess
weird.
Yeah. And what's in there? Like VS
a lot
Code
of
extensions?
Stuff. Yeah, I mean, we have the logs, we have the node modules, distribution, and some VS Code extensions, right? DS store, the usual stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we have that. Okie dokie. So let's just go over here and git status. Right, git add. Well, what do we have? We git ignore index HTML package JSON public source Vite config. I want to take a look at the Vite. Vite config. Vite into Vite. Vite. For God's sake. Define config React plugin React, and we are configuring this. I'm kind of curious about this plugin React Vite.js package.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna take a moment and just take a look at it, if that's okay with you,
Absolutely.
because I think there might be some tooling in the. Who knows? Perhaps not. Vitebot published. Fast refresh. Use automatic JSX. Avoid manual import React and JSX into. Well, okay. I
Well, that should
thought.
be.
Yeah, I thought that
That
was a
should be.
React thing.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you do the React and React on package? The dupe. What does I don't know that word. Can you explain to me? What does
I
the
have
dupe?
no.
So in Polish, I'm gonna tell you one thing. In Polish, dupa means ass. You know. So when I see the word dedupe, I go like, yeah, I'm gonna take off somebody's ass, or
It's the
what's that?
ass removal.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That's
Google Translate that. Google Translate. I don't know what that. You see, I hate when people use words that I have
to
no.
dupe. To dupe someone is to trick them in English.
Yeah. So
So
they do.
untrick, but it's like.
They look. They even want to translate it from Polish. Dedupiera står det här. Okay.
No, come on, that's terrible.
Dedupe from English. Dedupiera. Get the come on. This is not a word. All right.
Deceive, trick, to be duped into something.
Yeah.
As a noun, it's a victim of deception.
Dedupation of deduping is a process of removing identical entries from two or more data sets, such as mailing list.
Okay.
And and they are deduping
Like,
the React and React DOM packages. I have no clue what that means.
so that would imply that there are things that overlap between React
Could
and
be.
React DOM, which seems unlikely, but I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what it looks like. By default, fast refresh is used with file sendings, except for. Okay, so you can set in some other settings for this thing. JS runtime classic. If you're in country issue, okay. Babel. Oh, so you can configure Babel here. Okay, you can preset, which is not a bad thing, you know, especially for the thing
Well, yeah,
that we're doing with this Cypress CY thing.
the data CY, yeah. This is a big deal because if you want to, like what we do right now, our solution when we have create React app to remove specific attributes from the markup, we use something called customize CRA, which, you know.
Well, we use Babel, but in order to reconfigure Babel,
yeah,
without ejecting,
right,
you have to use override.
And that's
a different package, yeah. And here that is basically built in, so that's the difference.
Ejecting is the issue here, like, you know, with Vite, in theory, you should be able to set this up in a way that is maintainable.
Yeah, well, it is. Okay, so just for the sake of argumentation here, I would say, just to be devil's advocate, I can say that, you know, override CRA app is a package, it's an extension to CRA, right? Here, it is still a managed app with Vite.
Yeah.
But you can set those settings, because this is not how you usually configure Babel, right?
Yeah.
So, but here basically you have Vite has bundled the functionality that you have to install override CRA for in CRA. Just that.
Yeah, but what do you think weighs more? And is customized CRA?
Oh, customized CRA. Yeah. Well, it's. I mean, to me, it's just the same thing. It's the same thing, but you know, the only difference is that with CRA you have to install a different dependency. But yes, I mean, without. Well, actually, it's not only one dependency. You have to install two dependencies in order to customize
CRA is like, is it? I mean, okay, yeah, it's got thousands, hundreds of thousands of weekly downloads, but the last publish is from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Which I guess is like, okay, great, it works, but also.
Yeah.
Right, create act rewired is the other one, right now it's all coming back.
Yeah. Because I mean. Yeah. Well, I think from functionality perspective, it's the same thing. That's the way I see it. It's pretty much the same thing, because the option, if you want to create a React application manually, totally manually, like without
Yeah.
Vite or without, then you have to configure. You have to install Babel as a
Yeah.
dependency, and you have to install Webpack, and you have to actually configure it totally manually, right?
I remember you forced me to do it.
I know, and so yeah, that's why you don't want to do it.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not good as like for a beginner to be like, my God, I have to figure out all the tooling. I have to figure out every single piece, the setup. But I mean, so just to explain, the data CY issue is that when we are doing test-driven development, we follow the best practices set by Cypress in their docs, and they say, hey, use these data CY, testing specific attributes to grab items that you want to run tests on. That's the best practice. And I think, we're both sort of in agreement on that. Not everyone is in agreement on that, but if you change your application, your tests need not fail. That's kind of the crux. But in production, you don't want to push out those attributes. So the issue that we come across is that, like, when you're ready to go to staging or production, like, how do you strip out your testing stuff? And there are many ways to skin a cat.
And there is a Babel package for that, right? To be able to tap into HTML and actually filter through, or whatever you want to call it. But in order, in CRA, in an application created with CRA, you need to reconfigure Babel for that. And so you have to install a package, and then you have to install another package to run a different script, and you can do it. Here it seems simpler, because you can install this package immediately and configure it. So with Create React App, you have to install 2 packages to be able to overwrite and write the application with those overridden settings, and you have to install the package itself. Here you only have to install the package itself and configure it.
I think off the cuff, now I've not done this in Vite, so I don't know, but off the cuff, it's more seductive to go for the latter, where you have a Vite config file, that's where you live, and that's where you set this up, versus adding 2 dependencies and doing a little bit of config.
Absolutely. So we're in agreement on that. I think this is simpler. Let's see if we can just do git add everything and git commit. I have a version scaffold, the scaffold React app. Right. Okay, so now I just want to install Cypress. And I'm going to do it the way I'm used to do it and see if it works. And I hope that I can just do yarn add as a development dependency Cypress. And I guess I need to start server and test.
Yeah, if it can't handle that, then
right, start server and test, and that's it usually. All right, let's see.
And check it out, Cypress is in 10.7 now.
It is.
So they are, I mean, it's very much actively being maintained and developed, and so big kudos to them. Thank you.
But I wonder how popular this component testing will become in Cypress for end-to-end testing, which is my melody. I think it's awesome. For component testing, I don't know. Haven't tried that much. Not 100% sure. I can't really see component testing being part of my workflow, to be 100% honest. But that's a different discussion, I guess.
I guess if it comes, let's say you have you have one company and you have multiple different products living in different repos, different mediums, and you want to reuse some component. No, but even then, you're still gonna have to refactor. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to picture it.
Yeah. Anyhow, we just run this, and let's just set up a script, perhaps CI open, and I'm gonna Cypress. No, Cypress open.
Yeah, CY.
CY open. Right, and then that would just be Cypress open, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're just gonna add the usual stuff that I usually call Cypress
Mm-hmm.
because it's, and then we just
Yeah.
do start. What is it? We can do abbreviation start test,
Yeah.
right? And
Start
then
test. That
colon 3.
works.
Well, what is it?
Oh, then you run Vite, Vite.
No, I can just do yarn dev, right? Or just
You
dev, right?
could.
And then I need
You
to wait for 50. What was it? 5173.
Yeah.
And then I just run
CY open.
Yeah, that should do it.
Yeah. You do need to. What is it? Open Cypress so that it scaffolds all its folders and all that jazz.
All right. So yeah.
There's
so
also like now with Cypress 10, there's a whole little wizard to go through.
Oh shit, npx. I can just run this.
Yeah.
So this is a fast command, so you don't have to run it from node modules build.
Yeah.
Should work. Okay, we have welcome to E2e.
There it is.
Right. So E2e testing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can't. It tells you what it's going to create, but you can't edit these files here.
You can't.
No.
Oh,
I mean,
right.
can you? I don't think so.
No.
No, it's just letting you know.
Yeah. But can I can't remove the. No, I can't remove the fixture. I was hoping that I can remove it at least, but never mind. Let's just let it do.
Well, at least they're explaining what they're going to do, I guess.
Right. Do we have
And
any
there
specs? We don't have any specs, right?
No, but you can create an empty spec now.
Okay. User visits the application. Right.
Now you put a white space in there.
Huh? Oh, there is. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Run the spec. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to go on the internet and look at the Cypress Kitchen Sink website.
All right, but now we are here and we have this set up. We have Cypress, we have E2e testing, right? So
yeah,
on the CI open, I can just say -E2e, right? Can I say this?
You sure can.
With double dash or one dash?
It's a double dash.
It's a double dash. And
yeah.
Can I say Chrome or something?
I do -B for browser and then space and then Chrome.
All right. And this should work, right?
Take care of it. Yeah.
So let's kill this process.
Well,
actually, no.
You need to edit the test a bit.
Yeah. So we just want to visit. Do I have to say localhost here? I need to say because we haven't configured that yet, or have we?
We have not configured it yet.
Localhost 5173, right?
Yep.
And that's it. I don't want to do, is expect to pass, is expect to pass. Empty spec. I thought that this was, yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's kill this one. How do I kill it? I kill it by saying this, Command C, and this should give me some sort of an error. It used to do it at least.
Or maybe they fixed it in 10.7. I think I got it the other day, but
yeah. But anyway, now,
okay.
So hopefully we can do yarn Cypress now.
Yeah. Nope. There was the error.
All right. Yarn Cypress, and if this works, it works, right? I mean, let's see.
And if it doesn't, we'll figure it out. But that looks promising and fast too.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. And
yeah.
Hey.
Awesome.
Nice.
That was the smoothest. But I mean, we've done this a few times, right?
Well, yeah. But what's weird is that can you go into your Cypress config.js?
Nothing there.
Holy crap. So when I did this, I set up that like weird component dev server, and I had to give it a framework and a bundler, but it's completely unnecessary. It's smart enough to just, that's really nice.
You know how I am. I'm so lazy, so I just go for not
Yeah.
writing anything, just trying things out. No, nothing here. The package, the only thing that is, perhaps, that is, I mean, we used to create these settings, right?
Yeah.
And we are using some abbreviations here. So start test is actually start
Start
server and
server.
test, and then this should point to localhost and the port number, but you can shorten it by just saying colon and the port number, right?
Yeah.
And the
You
only
might not even
reason we know this
not
because
even
we've
need the
done this.
colon.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's try that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stop this guy, and again we will probably get this error. Let's run it again. Should I wait for that?
I never do.
Let's see.
They'll deal. I mean, it's your computer that has to deal. Unfortunately, it's not Cypress. But
Right, let's run it.
let's see if it loads.
Yeah, it loads. Okay, yeah.
There you go. There you
go. No, so this is awesome. This is great. And
yeah, it's pretty cool, huh?
right, Cypress. Right. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. One thing, which is a gotcha that's not really relevant to Cypress, but when you're using Vite, it's not process.env anymore. It's like meta.imports.env if you're using any environment variables in a .env file, stuff like that. So basically process.env becomes meta.imports. Okay. So not just for environment variables, of course, but for anything.
There it is, environmental variables. There it is. Right, we exposes the event variable in the special import meta env object.
Yeah, import meta instead of process.env, like like what we're used to.
So locally you have this .env in dev development, and then on if you go with Netlify, you just set those env vars.
Yeah, but it could also be like what, if you're in production, if you're in testing or development mode, like, we can do that process.env, equals to, we often rely on that for like, various deployment options.
Yeah.
So here, you just have to remember that it's this weird import meta thing instead.
All right. So it's not just straight. Yeah. You can't just.
Yeah. There are some gotchas.
Yeah. IntelliSense, right? Right. Modes. This is great. And so okay, SSR. What about?
Oof. Yeah.
So it was never an issue for me, but there is actually issues with it. Like you remember, I had this thing with the Netlify form being part of the handlebars, and I had to move it to. So SSR was not working on that particular one. So, but it was more of a platform issue because I did deploy this site on Netlify, and server-side rendering still says that it's experimental, which is a bit weird because they've been experimenting with it for a while now, I think. If I'm not mistaken. But anyways, right? Yeah. Awesome.
Oh, so what do you think?
I mean, I think it's great. I think I'm probably gonna move over to, if I start any new, no, not probably, I will use Vite when I start some new new React projects, which I don't have any on the horizon, to be totally honest. But whenever I do, I will go with it, unless I'm stressed in a big hurry and I forget about this and I just do this usual. You can't teach all dogs to sit, I guess, but
but you can always motivate lazy developers by making their lives easier.
Yeah. And I think this is great. This is a great catch, great overview, faster, just to be on the sake, for the sake of of fulfilling our experiment or finishing our experiment, the same thing goes with, if I switch over to the Create React app, I do the same thing, yarn add dash D Cypress and start server and test, just for our viewers.
Yeah. And also, to be fair to the CRA team, I mean, they've not done anything wrong. It's not au contraire. They're doing everything right. But yeah, it's just a different.
So I'm just going to do npx Cypress open just to finish the installation.
Yeah. Spin it up. You'll get the same wizard. Make sure you clean out the your cache after this, because you're going to have
so
a lot of Cypress.
Continue this dot E2e testing. Create new with this, the same thing. Use visits the application. Same thing. Boom. Run the spec. Should work. Yeah.
Yep.
But it's not what we came here for. And then we just stop this. We go over here. We go to package JSON. We do exactly the same thing that we did before. So we just do CY open, which is the Cypress open and dash E2e dash B Chrome, right? And then we do Cypress. We start the server. So start test, and then here we say start.
We say start,
which is this one. And then we say we wait for 3000.
Yeah.
And then we just say CI open, right? But there's a problem here, because this one will actually start a browser.
We need to say browser equals none,
right? So
or
equals none.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100 browser.
I don't love that either, right? Because it doesn't work on PCs.
No, there's a package you can add
or Linux.
But I'm not 100% sure that this will take precedence over this start script, So let's try it.
I mean, yeah, let's try it.
So yarn Cypress. Let's see.
No.
What npm list? Am I in 17?
NVM list.
Sorry. Shit.
Yeah. That's all good.
List. Oh, I'm in 16. So what the hell was the error? Do I have to yarn again?
No.
Okay. I shouldn't get it.
I mean, maybe the browser equals none doesn't. Maybe start server and test. Try to move the browser equals none to the beginning of the command.
Here.
Yeah, because maybe the order for start server and test needs to be in a certain format. That looks promising.
Thank you. Good catch.
That looks promising. What?
There are some issues with this. What the hell is going on here?
I mean, we did mess about a bit, but
we didn't
really
remove the
code.
vitals.
Yeah.
So, but okay, we never hit the. I never.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah, let me just.
This is the application.
CI, right? So first of all, I get this weird thing. So I disassemble this, but that's my issue. So let's just do HTTPS localhost 3000, and also I'm a bit worried because it didn't wait for the application to start. You see, this should. Oh, but it does return.
What the hell is going on?
Why isn't this included? I did a normal scaffold, right?
You sure did. Something is afoot.
That's on report web. So, yeah. So this is basically this. I can just remove that.
I mean,
we're all good, right? But that's weird. It's weird that it doesn't include
Oh, there's the app.
Yeah, there's that, right? Huh?
Huh.
The
Things are out
fuck?
of
I
whack.
mean, it's weird.
Wait, is it because you scaffolded the app in 17 and then we were switching back and forwards? Could that have anything to do with it?
How does it behave on yours? Can you see that?
Well, but the problem is that I also
Yeah, well, okay, it doesn't really matter.
but if I just do yarn start, do I get any errors in here? Failed to compile. Yeah, same error.
Yeah.
So but I also switched back and forth. So it can't
Yeah,
be.
we can't really judge them for this, but
No, no.
it's worth exploring,
And
later.
and look, it failed to compile, but it has rendered some stuff to the DOM.
Really?
Isn't that weird? Isn't that
Yeah,
weird? You
yeah,
see
yeah,
the
yeah,
React?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh. Well,
All right.
yeah.
All right.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
the point that we try to make across is that Cypress is extremely simple to set up if you know what. Well, I mean, it is extremely simple to set up. Basically,
It
that's
is.
it. Period.
It is.
Nothing else to say about that. Yeah. Look, I think that Vite seems like a fantastic tool. It leaves us with less config, probably. Well, it does leave us with less config. I will use it for my new projects, and I will always attribute Max Arvid Andersson for opening up my eyes to this amazing tool.
Actually, I mean, I have a question for you, and it's a more philosophical one, which is like, people talk about Vue and they talk about Vite, and they say, the real difference between Vue and React and Angular is that you kind of have this benevolent dictator in Mr. Evan You, who, is the kind of guy who started it, and sort of it's his vision, and like what he says goes. It's the rule, versus React, which is a lot of people involved. So, you're doing everything by committee. And like, I believe in democracy, and I think everyone should have a say. Software development is different,
right,
than democracy.
Right.
Do you have opinions on that?
Okay, a lot. Okay, I have shitloads of opinions about
that.
And I don't even know where to start. But let me say this: my wife works at the Gothenburg City, organization. She's a social worker, and sometimes, we joke that there are like endless meetings. We call them samverkansmöten in Swedish, which is, how could you translate that? I don't think you can actually. It's but anyway, meetings about everything, and you have to decide. You have to reach consensus, and consensus is the Swedish curse, right? So Sweden, by definition, is run by consensus. Like you have a lot of people at the helm, and they need to be in agreement.
Yeah.
And so now when there was this horrible war, and you shouldn't be joking about this, but
no,
but I think me and Jessica said, I told Jessica, you should invite Putin to one of your samverkansmöten, and then he will probably the war will he will give up on the war, on the idea of war. He would be too fed up with it, basically. No, but it's, that's joking aside. So here's my take on this. I think that quite often people need to step up and make a decision, right? When you run by committee, when you run by, that everybody is in agreement and you reach a consensus, right? Then that slows down a lot of progress, and make decision making and all of that stuff. And if you think about it, like, it's so easy if you take this to a micro level. Like when we pair program, you have a senior developer, then you have a junior developer, let's say that, right? Or a junior developer that is a bit insecure, and it doesn't make his or her ideas come across that heavily because they're perhaps intimidated by the senior, right? And then the senior just makes all the decision, boom, bam, 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 and you make a lot of headway, right? You make a lot of progress. The thing is, is that progress the best progress you could have made? Or if I listened more to my pair programming partner, would I have still made progress, perhaps slower, but made better decisions, right?
Hmm.
And so my you know my take on this question, which is a philosophical, should I run by decrees, or more of a dictatorship is kind of thing, or should
Hmm.
we always debate everything? And I believe that there needs to be a balance somewhere. I do not believe that this how do you say this in English, upplyst despot,
Yeah, a benevolent dictator.
benevolent
Yeah.
dictator, exactly,
Yeah.
is a way to go, but sometimes it's very convenient. It is, a benevolent dictator listens to inputs, but he or she makes the decision, right?
I mean,
And then
yeah,
we make headway.
I would say, like, in the case of open source, the benevolent dictator maybe doesn't even really apply. You can have someone who's setting guidelines and God, I'm about to make a free market argument. Stop me. But you can have someone who sets guidelines and makes design decisions and code structure and so forth, and opinionates the framework. But ultimately, the open source world, like, anyone can open up an issue. Well, on most repos, anyone can open up a pull request. There can be a lot of input from people from all over, and if you're developing an open source project and you take on this like idea that, like, no, I need to progress, I need to add features, I need to make it for blah blah blah, and this and this, and those decisions that you're taking aren't taking into account all that free input you're getting from other developers, which is amazing. First of all, you're an idiot. Second of all, like, your framework is not going to grow. Like, your people are not going to recommend it because they're going to be like, well, they're assholes. So in the software world, I think maybe, yeah, I think
But
maybe the view that I'm
but
sort of
on the
going
on the
towards.
flip side, Max,
Yeah.
I read a blog post from the creator of Ruby on Rails, David Hannemeyer Hansen,
Yeah.
and I can't really quote the post because it was really long time ago I read it, but I think at least that
Full of curse words.
the essence was this: yes, this is an open source project, and in the beginning they invited everyone to collaborate and to come in with input, but after a while they noticed that they started to drown in the sheer amount of input from the community. Then you had a core team where certain people, and I can't remember all the names and all the I mean, Rails has been around for a decade or more, right? But people started to have different visions from within the core team, right? So there was some tension, if I'm not totally mistaken. And so what they did after a while was that they automated. There's a Rails bot that reads through all the issues and stuff like that, and they have certain layers basically of when does an issue reach the core team. So there are filters along the way. Some people read through it and so on and so forth, right? Linus Torvalds also spoke about it in
Right.
in a TED talk, or perhaps not TED talk, but about a talk at least. And he said that he has a handful of people, or perhaps a dozen of people that he trusts, and they have people that they trust. And so if you think about the Linux kernel development, if you want to submit an issue or submit like a PR or an input or whatever, it has to go through certain layers of trusted people. And from my own experience, I can tell you this: that when we were running Agile Ventures at its peak, we had 35, 40 very active members on certain projects, like the Website One project, and there was a lot of debate about everything. And so we noticed that the progress we were making was not as fast or agile as possible. We wanted to get things done, and by putting too much trust into people, we noticed that the code quality declined a lot. For instance, I have this example of a developer that all of the sudden, from out of the blue, included CoffeeScript into the project, while we were already, this was a fairly mature project at this point. We didn't use CoffeeScript. He thought CoffeeScript was a great idea, and so he included that. And that was just a tiny, tiny little PR. And we already used shitloads of JavaScript. It was a monolith Rails app, right? So, but we already used shitloads of JavaScript. And boom, he includes some sort of new tag. And we were like, man, I mean, we all think CoffeeScript is okay-ish. It's not the, as revolutionizing as they wanted to come across. And there is no decision not to use CoffeeScript, but there is also no decision made by the community or the project lead to actually use it. So, and after a while, we just said that, look, there's a project leader. I was that project lead for a while. Then I co-chaired this with another guy, and we make the decisions ultimately about whether a PR should be or should not be merged. And what we say goes. Basically, that's the final word. So, are we getting any smarter? Well, open source is great, but open source also involves a lot of people, and people have different ideas. You don't have these hygiene factors with compensation and monetary incentives or whatever, and you have to build an organization around open source project as well. But it is also a very dynamic and creative way of developing software, but it doesn't come without gotchas. I don't know if this was a very long.
No, it's
answer.
Great. I mean, I think it's these are things that all developers should think about at some point, and at least have in the back of their heads. I mean, I don't think there's not a binary solution here. Success may be written in working software, as you sometimes say.
But I think the biggest thing is, like, don't be an asshole.
Yeah,
that's one. That's
it goes a long way. It goes a really long way.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned this a few times in training when we did the bootcamp. Like, your ego as a developer is often a good thing, because you should trust your gut. You should make progress. You should I mean, we are creative people. We need to push forward, and then we need to stand for our decisions and so on. But your ego can also be your biggest enemy sometimes. Yeah, I mean, like, people not admitting that they're wrong, right? And guilty as charged. Sometimes I'm way too invested in my own solution, my own code, and I can't see the forest for all the trees. I go like boom, like a fucking bulldozer, and just by backing out of an avenue and just trying something else, listening to a junior dev that looks at the problem with fresh eyes and a fresh perspective is very valuable. But again, if you're too egocentric or you think too highly of yourself, you can't do that. You can't back out. You can't listen to other people, and so on. So it's a huge problem, I think.
Yeah. Don't be an asshole. A little bit of humility.
Yeah.
A lot of bit of open-mindedness,
and that's a very good segue to wrapping up what we've done today. So I think that what we can both agree upon is that this, if we compare, if you compare Create React App with Vite, I think that they both have different use cases. Learning React, using Create React App is a good thing. Vite is a more production, real project ready tool, in my opinion. But I can see, I can see myself using Vite to introduce, junior developers to React as well. Cool. I need to think about this, because I don't want. Well, there is an upside. There is a good thing in showing different tools to people.
Yes.
Of course, because
that's a really good point.
They solve the same problem, but sometimes people are a bit information overload or whatever, right? So perhaps it's better to just show them one solution. Haven't made up my mind on this one yet. Do you have any thoughts?
I'm gonna I'm gonna grubla on it. I'm gonna think about it, because I think when I first picked up React, I assumed that Create React App was React, you know,
Okay.
and that's
Even though
of
I
course.
forced you to create this,
Yeah,
this.
yeah, it didn't matter.
Okay.
No, sorry, I should specify. I thought that every website, every application that used React was built using Create React App. I made an assumption, which is not what you should do in software development, or any time really. And I think had you said, here is CRA, here are some other ones. We're using CRA because it's for learning. I don't think that would have been information overload if it's just an information point, rather than like build the same app using 3 different build tools. Like, no, then people freak out. But I think for a few weeks I was like, oh, CRA, this is the end all be all. And of course,
yeah, but perhaps I made a mistake of letting you guys think that, because I'm so lazy. So I think, it's
no, I mean, but look, we had software to deliver, so like we didn't have the bandwidth to go around and listen to angry people online yelling about CRA, and which is exactly how a bootcamp should be. You should be delivering, solving problems, working as a team, delivering applications. Yeah, that's what you should be thinking about. So I mean, yeah, you can tweak the course docs if you want, but I don't see a problem in coming out of the bootcamp and then opening up. I mean, again, software, it's a lifelong learning journey, and that's why we like it. But I don't think it's a bad thing to have that be part of the post bootcamp discovery process. I don't know.
It is what it is, my brother.
Yep.
It is what it is. And I like the logo. The logo is cool.
Yeah, the logo is great. It really goes a long way.
Yeah.
And I like that they include yarn instructions as well.
Yeah. So overall, another tool in our tool belt. I see this stream as an absolute win, my brother.
I do too. That's what we needed.
All right. So if you want to know more about what we are doing, we try to learn more about coding and discuss creating the creative part of coding, right? We like to create stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we use different tools for that. And unfortunately, we opened up fucking Pandora's box, and that's the Django API thingy. We need to carry on with this, because we're not quitters. We don't want to quit.
No, we need to suffer for our sins, basically.
Right. Follow us. We got a question from Mrs. Simpson 00. What the fuck is this? WTF? Yeah, I don't respond to. I don't mind profanity, but yeah, I did explain what it was.
It's a good question, though. But there's some other streams you probably, by reading through the titles, you'll get a pretty good idea of what we're up to.
Yeah.
Today was a bit of a divergence to just check out some other tooling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I wish you a fantastic day. I wish
you?
our viewers fantastic day too. And I see you in the next stream.